I have had the pleasure of being in the company of modern Illuminati, such as presidents, prime ministers, chief justices of various nations, inclusive of the hierarchy of the Catholic Church, the bishops and all, and have been accepted with respect in UK, Ireland, and even California and Georgia, but the US system repeatedly appears functionally incompetent and corrupt to its very core. All it's tried to do is treat me with contempt and poop all over me. The state of Georgia, from gubernatorial office to judiciary and sundry, have utilized every mean at their disposal to leave me destitute, desperate, and in dire straits, but have not been successful in defeating me yet. These allegations are serious and damning. Serious and damning. Poor President Trump, what he's facing is pittance compared to what I am alleging. We're talking about the incompetence. So this is what I picked up from the news, and I'll share with you. A New Mexico couple, they applied for marriage certificate in Washington, and they were told, as foreign citizens, they need to provide passport as proof of identity. Yes, a federal employee did not know New Mexico is a state in the US of A. I'm not making this up. Check the national media or check with your guru, the Google. The documents will come up. Not one, plentiful. Then, academia. Southern New Hampshire University. On your TV 10 times a day advertising their wonderful education. Eventually, they fired a professor after the news broke that she failed a student for stating that Australia is a country. I can narrate you the whole story. You know what? I'll save you time. Southern New Hampshire University has replaced an online adjunct professor who initially failed a student's assignment because the professor thought Australia was not a country. An email exchange between the student, a 27-year-old stay-at-home mother, and Idaho completing a degree at Southern New Hampshire University in sociology, and the professor was revealed in a BuzzFeed story, and it went viral. Ashley Arnold was working on an assignment to compare American social norms to that of another country. She chose social media use in Australia, but earned a 0 for a portion of the project's grading rubric because the professor believed Arnold did not select a country. When Arnold emailed the professor about her grade, she received a response that the professor would investigate it, but identified Australia as a country and not a continent was the issue. That error made it nearly impossible for you to accurately complete your week 2 research outline correctly, the professor wrote in response, as posted by BuzzFeed. All evidence is there. After Arnold responded, again, the professor replied indicating that she will review the paper after she does some independent research on the continent-country issue. Now, the wonderful Southern New Hampshire University official said in a statement that the instructor has been replaced following an investigation. We deeply regret the interaction between our professor and our student and have apologized to the student and refunded her for the class. Following an investigation, we have replaced the instructor as we strive to adhere to the highest standards of integrity and accuracy in educating our students. To our friends and colleagues in Australia, we know that you are a country and a continent. Best of luck in the Olympic Games. You heard it right, because the news broke. You have absolutely no idea how many academics I have come across who are dumb as a dodo, byproduct of US education. And there I think I deem fit that I can mention the National Board for Certified Counselors and my communication with them in 2015. And their so-called professional exam, which is conducted across 50 states for licensure of professional counselors, mental health counselors. Yes, you, National Board for Certified Counselors. I challenged their exam. There were so many incorrect answers. They weren't incorrect, they were just wrong. In law, not open to interpretation. I wrote, letters are there, to the NBCC, to Mr. Whittingill, stating, give me back even 2 of the answers. I pass, I get my licensure, I get on with life. He failed to answer. His attorneys failed to answer. The supervisors failed to answer. It's all in writing. The answers that came, they never mentioned, they never answered the questions. I gave them the answers. I stated the questions that were asked of me and the answers I gave. They refused to acknowledge. By not answering those questions, in law, it is deemed that I am on the right side of law. The answers I gave, they are answers in law. They are in practice in family courts every day. Very much so. It would have taken less than 5 minutes, not 10 years. And that's when the trials and tribulations began. The white hierarchy felt threatened and challenged because when I had filed the suit, the Law School Admissions Council exam, they had screwed up. So had GSAC. And this conversation came to fore while my wife and I, she was getting her Master of Laws degree. She was being conferred at Georgia State University. And there we were in the company of Dean Kamenschein. My wife, she was bestowed with Dean's Scholarship. And it was none else than Judge Sean LaGrua, sitting Supreme Court judge in the state of Georgia. And this conversation was taking place. And on the flip side, in the state capitol, my state representative, who is an attorney, looked me in the eye and said, everybody is watching your case. We are afraid they're going to bury it. That was 2015. Then State Representative Ronnie Mabrow. Majority Whip Matt Ramsey, attorney. Brian Kemp, then Secretary of State, and his staff. Chad Nimmer, one of Governor Nathan Deal's floor leaders, who walked with me. But 6 months later, his executive assistant told me he has been told by the governor's office to stay out of it. So there's nothing he can do for me anymore. And the list goes on and on and on. That will be included in the roll of shame. And each and every entity for what they did not do, I will present to you. I assure you. I have never walked away from a good fight. Never. Especially when I am sure it affects people more than I. For I have dignity and self-respect. And plenty of competence. And plenty of backbone. And I was raised by decent, good people. Good people. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful to all the people who have kept me alive all through these years, without color, without prejudice. I could easily turn against the whites, the blacks, the browns, or whatever. But then it will be shame upon me. Because people of the very same color, in much larger numbers, have stood by me. And I hope the very same happens again before I go and meet my Maker. For now, I'm standing tall, I'm here, and I'm going to keep on talking. So thank you for listening.